LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
When you're on a motorcycle, you got to look out for all kinds of stuff. But after a crash, it's a danger you can't see that can really get you.
The insurance company is working behind the scenes to deny you compensation.
They're building a case against you, but at Dudley DeBosier, we're working for you.
Keep your head on a swivel. Let these guys look out for you. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Hello and welcome to LA Rider, Louisiana's #1 source for motorcycle lifestyles, travel, and adventure. I'm T.W. Robinson, so glad you're joining us today. This week, Tammy and I take the road less traveled to rural Bienville Parish, to the place where legendary outlaws Bonnie and Clyde died in a shootout with police. We also visit the Gibbsland Museum, dedicated to the legendary Depression-era bandits, and the Last Stop Cafe, which features Bonnie and Clyde's last meal. And we open up the vault for one of our favorite rides and destinations. All this, plus much more on this week's edition of LA Rider. So grab your gear and let's take a ride. Welcome once again to LA Rider. I'm TW. Over the past 18 years, we have been to a lot of quirky places. None, however, can quite compare to a place in Bienville Parish, where on a warm summer morning in 1934, a crime spree ended and a legend began. Louisiana is a land of beauty, mystery, and intrigue. And in nearly 20 years of riding the back roads and byways of the Bayou State, we have heard our share of myths, legends, and strange stories. And as Tammy and I headed down this rural stretch of Louisiana Highway 154 in Bienville Parish, we were about to revisit one of the strangest stories of all. We were heading for the place where legendary Depression-era bandits Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow died in a hail of police gunfire on the morning of May 23, 1934. An event that has inspired books, a couple of movies, and become a source of tourism dollars for the parish. America has a fascination with outlaws and gangsters, especially Depression-era bank robbers. And when the bank-robbing Dallas, Texas duo met their fate on this lonely 2-lane highway, their names were forever emblazoned in American folklore. For me, it was a return to this quirky site. I first visited here in 2010, but it was Tammy's first trip to the Bonnie and Clyde death site. Where else but in Louisiana would you find not one, but 2 monuments marking the place where a couple of outlaws met their fate? The first, a time-worn obelisk ravaged by souvenir hunters and vandals, and the second, a sturdier monument placed in 2014, which shifts the focus from the bandits to the officers who stopped their crime spree.
On this site, May 23rd, 1934, 9:15 a.m. You know, I didn't realize it was early in the morning.
I didn't either. But this is the one I have not seen.
I have not seen.
And this is the original
one.
And I thought it was new because it used to be white, but they have painted it the gray color, I guess, to match the other. But it seems like it was more damaged than that, but maybe not. Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking about.
Right.
Because you couldn't see the rest of his name. Have you got a hammer and a chisel?
Oh, you take some of it with you?
I'll get a piece off the back, though.
Before you do that, you might want to read
Yeah, these monuments were placed here to mark a veiled perish time in history. Please do not deface these monuments by marking on them or chipping away at them. Just enjoy their meaning. You are under video surveillance. All right, girl.
Gosh,
you ate that.
Thank goodness we saw this sign. Yeah. After spending a few minutes in the blazing sun and 100-degree heat, Tammy and I were ready to cool off. So we jumped on the bikes and headed back up the highway to Gibbsland. Time for Tammy to get the entire Bonnie and Clyde experience. Stay with us. When we come back, we pay a visit to the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum.
LA Rider is brought to you by the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign, a 501c3 nonprofit organization exclusively dedicated to promoting motorcycle awareness and rider safety throughout Louisiana and the nation.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us. See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly 2/3 of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles. Improve your skills. Make U-turns with ease. Tighten your corners and ride with more confidence and greater control. Sign up now for Cajun Thunder's Motorcycle Skills Training Course taught by police instructor Mike Richard and Amanda Joe at Cajun Thunder's state-of-the-art facility in Ponchatoula. Take your riding skills to the next level with Cajun Thunder's Rider Advancement Training.
Welcome back. Bonnie and Clyde's notorious crime spree may have ended on that Louisiana highway in 1934, but the legend of the two outlaws, which began that day, has endured more than 88 years, especially in the town of Gibbsland. According to the story, just before Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed 7 miles away on LA 154, the notorious outlaws stopped to pick up a couple of sandwiches at Ma Canfield's Cafe. Today, the original cafe is long gone, but in its place is the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. Ooh! Can't wait for you to see this, Tammy. This is so interesting. Lots of history here. You've been here before. I haven't. Here, for the admission price of $8, you can learn everything you ever wanted to know about the two outlaws and that fateful day, including a few things you probably didn't want to know, or see for that matter.
Is that like the real deal?
It looks like it. It looks pretty gory. The museum features hundreds of rare photos and documents, as well as numerous artifacts, like samples of some of Clyde's favorite weapons and a couple of vintage Fords, including a replica of the death car, complete with theatrical blood spatters and a couple of shot-up dummies. This car and the original, which now resides in a Las Vegas casino, toured the country for many years following the death of Bonnie and Clyde. And they want you to bring the children so they will understand that crime doesn't pay. No, crime don't pay. Right. Ambush Museum owner Perry Carver bought the place several years ago, but he has had a connection to the Bonnie and Clyde story since childhood.
I've been in this story since I was about 8 years old.
Tell me about that.
My grandparents, Ernest and Louise King, they knew Ted Toddy, and Mr. Toddy used to own the death car, and he used to let me play in the car. So for about 3 years, I was in and out of that car, and he started giving me things from the car. And, I got a piece of the front seat where their blood's on it. I got a box full of shattered glass. I still have a bunch of glass left.
Perry says people come from all over the world to visit the death site and the museum. And the town has an annual Bonnie and Clyde Festival, complete with bank robbery reenactments and shootouts. But perhaps the strangest thing is that people actually come here to get married.
It's kind of a lover's lane now. 4 couples have gotten married down there.
Really?
We've had a couple get married in the museum. So
No way.
it's a big deal to a lot of people.
Since taking over the museum, Perry has added a number of items, including the Bonnie and Clyde Last Stop Cafe. The cafe serves a number of things like burgers, fries, and handmade milkshakes. But you can also order the same sandwiches the Outlaws purchased on that fateful morning: a BLT for Bonnie and fried bologna for Clyde. Tammy and I just had to try them.
Well, I just have a regular
BLT?
old BLT, and I'm very happy with it. But this is what Bonnie ate. So here's to you, Bonnie.
I tip my beret to you. All right, here we go.
Is that how you remember bologna sandwiches?
I do. I mean, I have to tell you, this is what my childhood tastes like right here.
Nothing like a fried bologna sandwich to cap off the Bonnie and Clyde experience. You never know just what you'll find when you ride Louisiana on the road less traveled. By the way, Perry says plans are underway to renovate the second floor of the museum and add 6 rooms for overnight guests, creating a gangster-themed B&B. One room, however, will have a law enforcement theme. Stay with us. More LA Rider is coming up.
At G & Gonzalez, we do it all, from really big to the really small. Keeping you safe? No problem. We have the latest AOT racing gear found exclusively at G & Gonzalez. Don't monkey around. Head on down to G & Gonzalez of Baton Rouge, where the fun begins.
When you're on a motorcycle, you got to look out for all kinds of stuff. But after a crash, it's a danger you can't see that can really get you.
The insurance company is working behind the scenes to deny you compensation.
They're building a case against you, but at Dudley DeBosier, we're working for you.
Keep your head on a swivel. Let these guys look out for you. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
I didn't see him.
She just came out of nowhere.
Oh, God, what am I gonna do?
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us. See us.
Watch for us.
See us.
Watch for us.
Save us.
Nearly 2/3 of all motorcycle fatalities are caused by distracted and inattentive drivers. Please, watch for motorcycles.
Want a high-quality used motorcycle delivered to your door with a money-back guarantee? At usedbikesdirect.com, you can choose from hundreds of high-quality American, Japanese, and European motorcycles. Just browse our website, pick your bike, get your financing, and arrange your trade-in, all from the comfort of your home. And we'll deliver it straight to your door for free, complete with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Buying a used motorcycle has never been easier or safer. Just go to usedbikesdirect.com and start shopping.
For more than 40 years, Robert Rad Leonard has provided South Louisiana motorcyclists with all their needs, from a showroom jam-packed with all the latest gear to a full-service shop featuring skilled technicians who handle everything from routine service to complete engine rebuilds. Rad Cycles also carries a huge selection of pre-owned models and has the area's largest inventory of used bike parts. For all your riding needs, do what South Louisiana motorcyclists have been doing since 1978. Go Rad. Rad Cycles. They're rider recommended. Looking for a trailer? Check out Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. At Mike's 2 Baton Rouge locations, you'll find a huge inventory of high-quality motorcycle trailers, boat trailers, cargo trailers, utility trailers, and custom-built trailers. Plus, the largest inventory of trailer parts and accessories in the area. Can't find that perfect trailer? Let Mike build one for you. Mike Gerald's Trailer Depot. 2 locations in Baton Rouge to serve you. They're rider recommended.
Let's face it, it's been hot. triple-digit temperatures across Louisiana for weeks, but it's never too hot to ride, especially when your destination is known for its milkshakes and ice cream treats. From the vault, a visit to Winnsboro's Mustang Lucy's. As Tammy and I headed out LA 15 south of Monroe on this beautiful Monday morning, I had a familiar song bouncing around in my head. In fact, ever since Sheila Roberts Currington reached out on Facebook to invite us to the Winnsboro Cafe owned and operated by her son and daughter-in-law, I had been humming the refrain to Wilson Pickett's Mustang Sally. But in my head, it was now Ride, Lucy, Ride, because the name of the cafe is Mustang Lucy. Mustang Lucy is located in a shopping center just off the main highway, and the name has nothing to do with the Wilson Pickett song. It actually has something to do with how owners Walt and Lucy Smith met.
We met on Christian Mingle about a little over 8 years ago, and he works at White Ford. That's his daytime regular job. And so his username was Mustang. And then I go by Lucy, so I use Lucy as my username. So he's the Mustang and I'm the Lucy.
If you're craving an old-fashioned, incredibly creamy and thick malt, this is the place for you. Tammy and I had barely sat down when Lucy brought us the daily special, a pina colada malt.
God, can't you suck it? It's so thick.
But it's a
I'm like,
Oh, that's pineapple in the bottom. That's why it wouldn't come up the straw.
The crush.
Yeah. Pineapple in the bottom. It wouldn't go through the straw. Oh my word. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
There's not a lot of places you can go get like an old-fashioned malt. So we started out just kind of simple with just your chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. But I'm like a creative person, and of course I love to eat. I love ice cream. So we just tried to come up with things that would incorporate different things that would make you want to come back. What's something that I can bring to the table that's different than your average ice cream place?
Mustang Lucy features a variety of po' boys and burgers, as well as chicken, shrimp, and catfish plates. But one of their specialties is open-faced hamburgers, served with smothered onions, gravy, and fries. Naturally, I had to try it.
Got you again. I always put that on there.
Mustang Lucy Cafe is not just about good food. Walt and Lucy say their dream cafe is also about community.
The jerseys you see on the wall are actually from our customers' children. So we wanted to incorporate the community as well. And if you, I'm sure y'all saw the mural on the wall. That's all the logos of the schools.
All the mascots.
The mascots of the schools.
That's what's painted inside the Mustang
That's
Lucy.
what you're seeing is our community come together.
But it's the food that draws the community to Mustang Lucy and keeps them coming back.
so what do you hope when people leave your place? What do you want their big takeaway to be?
Well, of course you want them to be full and happy, but I also want them to feel us as Christians, like I want them to feel that they were at home.
Well, we certainly felt that way. I think the only thing I didn't get that I needed was the wheelbarrow to take me out of here. Back to
We have one.
Whoo, my chariot awaits.
Here we go.
All right, don't dump me out.
You said you needed a wheelbarrow. Let's go.
At Jandy Imports, we have everything for your ride. From high-quality leather jackets, vests, and chaps, to saddlebags, luggage, and riding boots. We have a large selection of helmets, too, and feature a full line of AmSoil and bike care products. At Jandy Imports, you'll find the area's largest selection of patches, all sewn on for you while you wait. You need it? We've got it. At Jandy Imports, the little store with the big inventory.
Come see us at Jandy Imports.
Motocross, We've got it at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. All the bikes, all the gear, and the expertise to help make you #1 at the track. From beginner to expert, we've got just what you need at G & Gonzalez in Baton Rouge. Come see us today at G & Gonzalez, Louisiana's oldest family-owned power sports dealer, located in downtown Baton Rouge in the shadow of the state capitol.
Race on down to G & Gonzalez. Becoming #1 starts here.
We're waiting for you!
All of a sudden, I see this car. He stopped, starts to turn out in front of us. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, crawling around, looking for, my boyfriend just to make sure he was okay. In 2 seconds, it can all be over. And people don't take the time to think about that when they're on the roads, because in our situation, the guy said, I saw them. I just thought I could make it. I never, ever in my entire life thought this would happen to me, honestly.
Just putting on leather and sitting on a bike doesn't make someone a biker, and it's easy to tell the posers from the pros.
Same goes for law firms. Just because someone's a lawyer doesn't mean they know motorcycle cases.
At Dudley DeBosier, we've been fighting for injured bikers all over Louisiana for years.
After a crash, get experience on your side. Call Dudley DeBosier. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
Support motorcycle safety and encourage other drivers to watch for motorcycles. Purchase a motorcycle awareness specialty plate for your car, truck, or motorcycle. For an additional $25 a year, you can help the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign promote safety, awareness, and training programs throughout Louisiana.
I'm T.W. Robinson. No matter what you ride, put a MAC plate on it and help support motorcycle awareness wherever you go.
Improve your skills. Make U-turns with ease. Tighten your corners and ride with more confidence and greater control. Sign up now for Cajun Thunder's Motorcycle Skills Training Course, taught by Police Instructor Mike Richard and Amanda Joe at Cajun Thunder's state-of-the-art facility in Ponchatoula. Take your riding skills to the next level with Cajun Thunder's Rider Advancement Training.
Welcome back. I'm TW, and this is LA Rider. As we mentioned earlier, it has been hot all across the state for most of July. So to cool things off a little, here's another ride from the vault when temperatures were a little cooler and fall was in the air. Another beautiful fall day greeted me as I once again took to the back roads of West Feliciana Parish. Nothing like a weekend ride on a 2-lane country road with a multicolored canopy of trees to make you forget about all the stress of the previous week. This is what riding is all about, the journey, not the destination. But this wasn't just another ride to nowhere. I had a destination in mind, and when I reached US Highway 61 just south of the Mississippi border, I pointed Red Rider north toward one of my favorite cities, Natchez. Riding US 61 is always a treat. The road is lightly traveled, is in good condition, and the scenery is beautiful, especially this time of year. And because of the cool temperatures, there was a faint smell of hardwood smoke in the air, which made me think of barbecue. And when it comes to barbecue, there is really only one place to go in Natchez, the Pig Out Inn. Boop. There we go. Ready for the movies. Now, I've been a big fan of the Pig Out Inn since my first visit here. Shortly after Ann and Archie Willett opened the place more than 20 years ago. But recently, the Pig Out changed hands, so I wanted to make sure they were still serving up the smoking good stuff.
Well, I'm always up for a ride to Natchez, and one of my favorite places to eat was the Pig Out. and I heard that they recently had changed hands. So I was on a mission today to see if the food is still as good as it was. I am about to pig out at the pig out. I had the pulled pork sandwich, and I had them add a little coleslaw on it. Doesn't that sound yummy? I'm about to see. Look at that. That looks really good.
It's too expensive. They should give that to you. That's right. Advertising. That's right. Oh, yeah. Got it on your back.
Excellent. Wow. The pig out is still the place to be.
Well, the food is as good as ever. The new Pig Out Inn owners are Bubba McCabe and his wife Katie.
One reason why we bought this place is that we love Natchez so much, so we wanted to save an iconic place that Avidal and Archie created.
Everything was wonderful.
Well, good,
It was just as good as I remember it.
Well, that's
and
what we're.
I love that pasta salad and that bean salad. Oh my gosh, that just topped it off.
It's good stuff. We're trying to keep it the same as it was.
Bubba and Katie are planning a big grand reopening celebration sometime next spring with live music and lots of fun. If you want great Southern barbecue, check out the Pig Out Inn. They're open Monday through Saturday from 11 to 9 and Sundays from 11 to 3. And they are very motorcycle friendly.
I've never, I've ridden motorcycles, but I've never had one. I've always wanted one.
Yeah.
I just never got around to doing it because I have too many other hobbies, I guess.
I'll tell you what, free meal next time and I'll take you for a ride.
Sounds like a plan. I'm down with that.
Well, Bubba has yet to collect on his ride, but we'll be back at the Pig Out soon and give him another opportunity. I promise, Bubba, I'll keep it under 50. Well, that's it for this week. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, same time, same station. Until then, this is TW. We haven't been everywhere, but it's on our list. See you next week on LA Rider.
LA Rider is brought to you by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers, serving Louisiana motorcyclists and their families for nearly 2 decades. Dudley DeBosier, official injury lawyers for the Motorcycle Awareness Campaign.
This is Paul Sr. of Orange County Choppers. In my shop, people don't mess with me. When someone gets out of line, I don't let them get away with it.
Neither do we. After a motorcycle crash, the insurance companies know Dudley DeBosier doesn't back down.
We don't let insurance companies push you around, and you shouldn't either.
Trust me, these guys don't mess around. Motorcycle crash? Demand different. Demand Dudley DeBosier. 444-4444.
God bless chrome cowgirls like us.